The line stretched for blocks. People stood shoulder to shoulder, their frustration mounting with the scorching sun. It was South Africa's 2024 election, a day meant for citizens to raise their voices, but the scene at many voting stations was far from a celebration of democracy. Delays were rampant. Ballot papers were missing. Voters, some who had waited hours, were turned away, their right to choose seemingly disregarded. Whispers of a rigged election, simmering for weeks, began to boil over in the heat of the day. Among those in the throng was Julius Malema, leader of the Economic Freedom Fighters, or EFF. Known for his fiery rhetoric and unwavering stance against corruption, Malema was there to cast his vote. But what he witnessed firsthand ignited a firestorm that would reverberate through the nation. Amid the chaos, Malema, through a megaphone, called out the Electoral Commission. He pointed to the disarray, the disenfranchisement of voters, and the palpable lack of transparency. The crowd, mirroring his outrage, erupted in a chorus of agreement. This was not just about long lines. It was about the potential erosion of a fundamental pillar of their democracy, the sanctity of the vote. "This is not an election, it's a disgrace," Malema roared, his words echoing the sentiments of many. His accusations were pointed and direct, aimed at the heart of the electoral process. He claimed that the disorganization was a deliberate attempt to suppress voter turnout, particularly in areas where the ruling party was perceived as vulnerable. "They are scared of the people's power," Malema declared in a post-election rally. His words resonated with a segment of the population already wary of the government. Social media erupted, amplifying Malema's allegations. Rigged Election 2024 trended nationally, with citizens sharing their experiences, stories of intimidation, missing names on voter rolls, and inadequate voting materials. "We cannot stand idly by while our democracy is undermined," Malema asserted, urging his supporters to demand accountability. His words, charged with urgency and frustration, struck a chord with many South Africans, particularly the youth who yearned for a transparent and fair electoral process. What began as a logistical nightmare at polling stations quickly escalated into a national debate about the integrity of the electoral system. The immediate consequence of the electoral chaos was palpable, a deep sense of disillusionment among voters. Trust, once placed in the system, began to erode, replaced by skepticism and doubt. The images of long queues, frustrated voters, and Malema's fiery accusations dominated news cycles, further amplifying the perception of a compromised election. Social media became a platform for venting frustration, with citizens sharing their experiences and voicing concerns about the future of democracy in South Africa. The incident served as a stark reminder of the fragility of democratic institutions, even in a country that had made significant strides since the end of apartheid. The doubts extended beyond the immediate results. The very foundation of a representative democracy, the belief that every vote counts, seemed to waver. The incident underscored the crucial need for robust electoral systems, capable of withstanding attempts at manipulation and ensuring that the will of the people is accurately reflected. Section 4. The Erosion of Democracy, a Global Phenomenon. The events in South Africa were not isolated. Globally, there's a palpable anxiety concerning the future of democracy. From Brazil to the United States, instances of electoral interference, misinformation campaigns, and voter suppression have cast a shadow over democratic processes. These incidents, regardless of their scale or intent, chip away at the foundation of trust that democratic societies are built upon. When citizens lose faith in the integrity of elections, they lose faith in the very systems meant to represent them. The decline in voter turnout in many democracies, particularly among young people, is a worrying symptom of this erosion of trust. The belief that their voices don't matter, that the system is rigged against them, takes root, leading to apathy and disengagement. Section 5. Safeguarding the vote, a collective responsibility. Protecting the sanctity of the vote is not just the responsibility of governments or electoral commissions. It's a collective responsibility that falls upon every citizen. It demands vigilance, active participation, and a commitment to holding those in power accountable. Strengthening democratic institutions requires a multi-pronged approach. Independent election monitoring bodies, Transparent campaign finance regulations and accessible voter education programs are crucial. Equally important is the need to combat misinformation and disinformation campaigns that sow discord and undermine trust in the electoral process. Media literacy, critical thinking skills, and a healthy dose of skepticism are essential tools in navigating the digital age. The events in South Africa serve as a stark reminder that democracy is a continuous process, not a destination. It requires constant nurturing, unwavering vigilance, and a collective commitment to ensuring that every vote counts and every voice is heard.